34 ways your girlfriend is micro-cheating and totally getting away with it. Addressing a man by his name unexpectedly, e.g., "Hey Doug," instead of just "hey," which breeds a strangely powerful sense of intimacy. Are straight people okay? I believe the answer there is no. If someone thinks that calling someone by their name is cheating, they are definitely not okay. Special thanks to Nix, Holly Miller, Sarah Bear, Kaori Ann Mori, Karen Duca, Kipachi, L, Howland Requiem, Maxine Lankow, Chase Howard, and Kitty Girl Emily for supporting the channel and supporting my content. Thank you so much, guys. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another subreddit video. Today we are returning to r/AreTheStraightsOK. Before we begin, I have something I wanted to talk about. I don't really talk about this kind of thing often. I don't ask for this kind of thing often, but I just quit my job, so I will be looking for new work that it won't affect content at all. I just want to put that out there. My content isn't going to change. I'm going to keep making videos as usual. Nothing will change. However, for once, I'm going to put this towards the start of my video that if you would like to support my content and support me helping videos, then I do have a Patreon and you can join the YouTube channel as a YouTube member to help support me. By no means should anyone feel obligated to do so. I'm going to keep making content regardless, but I just wanted to put that message out there as I have quit my job recently, so I'm looking for new work, and YouTube does actually help support me a little bit on the side. So let's get into the video anyway. Some people need to go back to English class. How can you call one person they or them? Pronouns make no sense. Me giving all time to help my friend get over their ex. Good job, dude. First of all, buddy, if pronouns make no sense, it's you that needs to go back to school, because everyone uses pronouns for everything, okay? He and she are pronouns. They're all pronouns. However, and we've addressed this in a previous video, I'm not going to go into it as in depth as I did in the previous video, but I can bring up 3 separate sources: Cambridge Dictionary, Oxford Dictionary, and plain Google, and all of them use they in a singular sense. In the definition of they, it is in the dictionary definition of they, a singular person of unspecified gender. So it is a singular term. It has never always been plural. There has always been a singular meaning for they. Can't believe it's been a year since I drove my dad to the gas station and he forgot his mask. So I offered him the only one I had, which was a rainbow one. He told me he'd rather wear one of my oily cleaning rags. Even worse is he actually did just wrap a damn rag around his head. A rag that I use when I change my oil and check my oil. It's filthy and several years old. He put it on his face because he didn't want to wear a rainbow. Nothing says being that fragile in your heterosexuality that you are terrified of being associated with a rainbow. You can wear a rainbow and not be gay. I know it's heavily associated with pride now. However, it's not just a pride thing. You can just wear a rainbow and not be gay. Stop. This is just nasty. Loki is straight and a male. Followed by their profile of, I looked up who Nicole Swan was and it didn't come up with anybody specific ex Loki. So I'm fairly certain that they are shipping themselves with Loki. They also have a picture of Loki with a thin blue line profile picture. Like, it's a problematic image in many ways, but I just want to address the whole Loki is a straight male thing, because Loki in the comics is based off of Loki, the god from Norse mythology, correct? Loki, the trickster god. First of all, putting in front of a blue lion flag, he's a trickster god criminal. He tried to take over the world. I don't think he cares about the US police. Anyway, regardless of that, he is a shape-shifting god who bangs anything he can, okay? If we are gonna go into Norse mythology, Loki transformed him or her or themselves into a female horse and slept with a male horse, okay? So Loki bottomed a horse, got pregnant, and then gave birth. And you're gonna argue that Loki is a straight male? Look up how Sleipnir appeared. However that's pronounced. Sleipnir, you know, the seven-legged horse? That's what I'm talking about here, okay? And then Loki also smashed a giant. Like, at the bare minimum, Loki is bi, and at the very bare minimum, Loki is, I guess, non-binary because they constantly switch between genders. So arguing that Loki is a straight male, just completely incorrect on all lore of Loki. Transing our kids is their priority. 1 + 2 = trans. 2 + 2 = trans. I don't know who Michael Knowles is, and I haven't watched this nearly hour-long video on transing kids. However, this is not what's going on, and we are not trying to convert people to be trans, okay? The whole purpose of educating kids on things like being gay and being trans is that it is really difficult and kind of crazy for kids growing up in an environment where they have no idea what their feelings are. Growing up in a community that shuns gay people as a gay person is damning, right? That is harming your mental health. You believe that you are damned and you are wrong, okay? What we're trying to do is teach a kid that's gay that it is not wrong to be gay, or that a kid that is trans that it's not wrong to be trans. We aren't trying to convert all kids to being trans. We are trying to teach the kids that are trans that it's okay to express themselves however they want. What makes a drink manly? What drinks require that you turn in your man card if you're caught dead with it? It's a highly debated topic that our experts here at Home Wet Bar decided to get to the bottom of. Interestingly enough, there are plenty of factors that go into making manly drinks. The first cardinal rule of all manly drinks is that it can't be sweet. If you're thinking of ordering a strawberry daiquiri or pina colada, be prepared to hand over your man card. Fruity flavors and colorful drinks are a big no-no, and absolutely no straws. Ugh, I hate the concept of manly drinks. I would say I do drink what would be considered manly drinks. I drink things like beer, okay? I like beer, but I have so many things that I hate about this. Also worth noting that I couldn't care less about what drinks are considered manly and non-manly. I am non-binary. I don't care what I'm seen drinking, okay? If I like something, I will drink it. I do not care what anybody else thinks. They're not the person drinking it. I want to break into something in the concept of manly drinks, okay? A fundamental rule that this company has laid down is that a manly drink can't be sweet. This is complete and utter trash, okay? What would you consider to be a very manly archetype, okay? A lot of the things I'm going to say I appear to look like, and that's not just me trying to say that I am manly, okay? I am non-binary, as I've said. I do not care about manly stereotypes, but Vikings are probably a pretty stereotypical archetype for being manly, right? Big beards, quite strong and hench, long hair, sometimes short hair, other times doesn't matter, tattoos, you know, stereotypical Vikings, right, are fairly manly. You know what drink Vikings absolutely loved? Mead. You know what mead is? Alcoholic honey. It's just honey. You can't get much sweeter than just turning honey into alcohol, okay? Are you gonna find a Viking? Are you gonna travel back in time to a Viking who has just pillaged a monastery and murdered people and go, "You're not manly, you drink honey"? No, you're not. Which means that their very first fundamental cardinal rule of what makes a manly drink manly is incorrect. I love mead. It's one of my favorite drinks, but I also love Bailey's, which is basically alcoholic sugary cream. I love Disaronno, which is like almonds. I don't care what other people think of what I drink because I think they're tasty, and I'm not gonna drink something that tastes bad just because I want to look manly. When you stop taking your birth control because you want another baby. All jokes, kinda. This kind of behavior should be actually illegal. I wonder if there's a way to prove it. Unfortunately, there may not, because in terms of things like that, all birth control are considered non 100% effective. So if she did get pregnant, then I guess I don't know if there's any way of proving that she was deliberately withholding birth control and saying she wasn't. However, there is a thing called stealthing, which is illegal. You shouldn't just try and get pregnant without telling your husband or boyfriend because you want another kid. This is a subject you should in-depth discuss with your partner. Your partner should fully be aware that you want another kid, and you should discuss the implications and effects on both of your lives of having that kid before you have it. You shouldn't just sabotage your husband with another kid. And I feel like I shouldn't even have to say that. And the fact that I do have to say that is evidence enough that the straights are not okay. 6'4". I think it's really hilarious how many of you claim to be lesbian or bi. I've shown so many they aren't, and it's hilarious. Just because a few bad apples broke your heart doesn't mean you're a lesbian or bi. I've had my heart broken 100 times, and I've never thought about sucking dick. Plus, if you were a real lesbian, you wouldn't be looking at men then, would you? Just goes to show how pathetic and mentally f***ed everyone is. Logic is gone. Buddy, alright, look. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but if you've been in a conversation with someone, you've been in a conversation with a woman, and you've tried chatting her up, and you've tried maybe giving her your number or getting her number, and she says she's lesbian, first of all, you have no right to question if she is or isn't lesbian. But assuming that she's not, she's saying that because it's the only way to get rid of you. Because she doesn't want to be with you. And if that's the only way she can get rid of you, then you really need to assess how you're approaching women. If your approach to women is so flawed that when you talk to them, they tell you they're lesbian because they do not want to be with you and do not want to talk to you, you are doing something fundamentally wrong. Guaranteed, on Tinder, this has not happened, okay? No women are matching with men on Tinder if they are lesbian. Full stop. If you are matching with a woman on Tinder, she's not going to have swiped with you if she's lesbian because you wouldn't have even come up on her feed. So you are just lying there. And if she's bi, of course she's going to match with men. She's bi. That's how bi works. Bi people don't just date one or the other. They date both. That's why they're bi. Ugh, this man is dumb. This trend needs to stop. It's a male superhero. Make him female. Make him a black female. I have questions. This trend needs to stop, they say. Have we been following the same superhero movies? Because this isn't a trend. I don't know what MCU or DCU you've been watching, but also it's so weird to me, okay, that black people and women just sort of exist, and then people like this are like, I can't believe they're invading all of our movies and cartoons. Like, they exist, right? Maybe if 1 in 15 TV shows has a black lead, it's because black people exist. They are still heavily outnumbered in movies and TV shows. They're just getting a little bit more recognition and representation that they deserve because they exist. If we have 100 years of superhero movies and every single one of them is a white male, that's inaccurate. If superheroes existed, they wouldn't all be white men. And I don't understand where that belief would even come from. If you look at Marvel, right, there are hundreds of superheroes. You look at X-Men, there are thousands of mutants, millions of mutants. They're not all white men. So it stands to reason that there are going to be some black superheroes and there are going to be some female superheroes. That's not a trend that is invading your movies. That's normal. This is still my favorite made-up metric for masculinity I've ever seen on this dumb website. More American males now wear bracelets than eat stew. Okay. First of all, bracelets? Why does that matter? Second of all, what's his obsession with stew, right? There's two things that you can go into here to establish why this might be. One is that American males have a slight amount of disposable income to spend on fashionable trends in a way that they want to look how they look. If bracelets are fashionable, it stands to reason that people are gonna wear them. That's how trends work. Second of all, more American males are now eating healthily enough that they don't have to rely on stew. stew. Because stew, not all stew, bear in mind, I will say, not all stew is low quality food, but stew is fundamentally a low quality food that you make when you are trying to make things like vegetables stretch as far as possible. You have a bit of meat, you can make a stew that will feed a family, right? We don't have to worry about that anymore. So men are able to dress how they want and eat healthy food that they like. And that's meant to be a bad thing? That they're not manly enough anymore? Get your head out of your ass, boy. Some women, consent is required even in marriage. Same women. Why can't men be spontaneous anymore? First of all, this is a straw man, and there are no women complaining that men aren't spontaneous anymore. That's just, spontaneous men exist, and the women that want spontaneous men are with those men. But second of all, consent is required even in marriage. Don't even pretend like that's not a thing. If you are in a relationship with someone, even if you are married with them, and you do want them to be spontaneous in sexual acts, this is something you discuss with your partner way in advance. You discuss boundaries, you discuss what you are both comfortable with and what you both want. You also discuss the fact that if your partner spontaneously initiates something, it's okay to say no or say you're not in the mood. If you're going to be spontaneous and do things without immediately asking, the boundary and the conversation to say that's okay has to have been done way in advance. This has to be something you as partners know you're going to do. So you can still be spontaneous and there be consent involved, okay? And you can still respect your partner if you are spontaneous and they're not in the mood, because they're not gonna always be in the mood. So it's all about boundaries and understanding those boundaries. And you really should talk to your partner about those boundaries if you are unsure. Don't just make posts like this and go, it's the women that are the problem. Out with the family when I was 13 and getting ice cream, a friend of my uncle says, "You can tell a lot about a girl by how she eats ice cream." I genuinely, not knowing what he was talking about, said, "Like what?" He didn't expect to be questioned. I kept pressing. He never answered. And I still don't know what he means. What can you tell about a girl by how she eats ice cream? Hey, Naomi's uncle's friend, if you're out there and you see this video, please leave a comment and tell me what it is you mean, because I'm concerned. Do lesbians get periods? Okay, I noticed that an awful amount of lesbians tend to be very butch and manly, and periods are a very feminine and girly thing. Not something that lesbians get, I imagine. That's not how biology works. Wow, the education system really failed this guy. Like, I know that the education system fails a lot of people in sex education, but this is like next level failed. Wow. Look, being attracted to a different person doesn't just change how your body functions. You don't like come out as lesbian and immediately you no longer have any periods. That's not how that works. I mean, I know a lot of people that probably really wish it did, but that's not how that works. Original Netflix adaptation. Ignoring the fact that this is just a really bad, homophobic, and racist meme of someone that doesn't like seeing gay and black people because they feel like they are entitled to only see white people. The meme is just fundamentally incorrect. I'm gonna explain why, okay? So let's say that Netflix makes an adaptation of something and does make it more inclusive, meaning they have more people of color and they have more LGBT inclusion in. And let's say it's the Lord of the Rings that they've done this in. They aren't going to make Sauron black and gay because they're not going to make the villain black and gay. If Netflix is trying to be more inclusive, they aren't going to make the literal fascist villain of Lord of the Rings that wants to wipe out humanity. They're not going to make him the black and gay person because that's not how they're going to be inclusive about it. So the meme is just fundamentally wrong, ignoring the fact that it is just a terrible meme in the first place because conservatives can't meme. And that's where I'm going to end the video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. As I mentioned earlier on in the video, I have quit my job, so if you guys want to support me in making more content like this, then I have a Patreon in the description down below, and also you can click the join button on the channel to support me. It helps a lot more than you might realize, but by no means should you feel like you have to, because I am going to keep making content regardless of what happens. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.